One of the most storied franchises in the Los Angeles Temptation battle the expansion Pittsburgh Rebellion. Next.
I just want to be given the chance.
You were the pioneers that built women's football.
The opportunity to succeed. Or even to fail.
You are the league of their own.
Figure out what the you need to do mentally to be able to sacrifice everything for the girl next to you.
You better knock the shit out of her.
Put the hurt on them first. Keep them on the ground. Stick your foot on their throat.
LFL football has arrived to Tinseltown, Los Angeles, California. Welcome inside the booth of LFL Football Night. Mitch Mortaza and Bobby Huco. We are in Los Angeles, California, and we have an interconference matchup for you tonight. The Pittsburgh Rebellion of the Eastern Conference coming into Los Angeles to battle the big bad silver and black Temptation. And the big story, at least early for Los Angeles, is Agam Chichindu, the all-fantasy corner, will be missing from the lineup tonight. And if you're Jolie Efezekai from Pittsburgh, you're feeling pretty good about that. A big loss for Los Angeles.
Agam Chichindu is the heart and soul of the Los Angeles football team, no question about it. A lot of people around the LFL, they just know her as the dirtiest player in the league, which she is. Hate to say that, but she's a great football player. When she's healthy on the field, she is the heart and soul. They're going to miss her tonight.
Offensively, when you're talking about Los Angeles, really the story begins and ends with Ashley Salerno. The legendary quarterback has had a tough time here in 2017, specifically off the field, coming off a suspension after allegedly striking backup quarterback Kiera Patterson.
It seems like every year we hear the same things about Ashley Salerno off the field. On the field, no question, the best quarterback ever to play in the game. But like last week when she allegedly hit her backup quarterback, it tears that team apart. And if she continues to do that, that team will be apart, and they have no chance at winning the championship this year. But if she keeps them together, they have a shot. She has to mature and keep them together.
That's exactly right. That's her 7th season. She needs to mature at the quarterback position and become a better leader. For Pittsburgh, it's simple. They're feeling good about themselves, folks. They're coming off a big win, the franchise's first ever win versus Omaha in Pittsburgh. What are your thoughts on this team?
They're on a roll right now. They're a first-year team. They're looking on from the outside in at the playoffs. But if they can somehow play good football against this elite LA team going into next year, it'll be like a Legends Cup victory for them.
Pittsburgh will need to be cranking on all cylinders in order to beat one of the LFL's best in Los Angeles. Say it with me, kickoff is next. Back to a rocking Citizens Business Bank Arena, Los Angeles, California, as LFL Football Night arrives to town. A great matchup, the Pittsburgh Rebellion versus the Los Angeles Temptation.
You gotta love this. This crowd is electric right now. I love it here in LA. LA and Draco, they seem to get better when the sun goes down. I'm fired up about this game.
Pittsburgh will be receiving it. That is Quaylen Pitts, actually Astrid Cruz deep. Lily Cranston of Los Angeles will get us underway. A nice kick into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. So Morgan Spencer in the Pittsburgh offense will take over at the 15-yard line.
You've really got to be impressed by quarterback Morgan Spencer, the way she brought this team on as the year went forward. Right now, her stats are pretty solid. She started out rocky because she didn't know the team very well. You see right there, 21 out of 54. Very respectable, 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. She's coming along just great.
A 1st and 10 toss right. That is Astrid Cruz. Naja Christmas all over it. Cruz starting for Osselborn will lose a yard as we meet the starters for Pittsburgh on the offense.
Astrid Cruz, running back.
Rami Allenzock,
Jolie Efezekai, wide receiver.
Gina Campisi.
Jessica Johnson, tight end.
Tracy Wilmer, your center. Morgan Spencer, your quarterback.
We usually focus on the quarterback position, but tonight it's going to be running back. Astrid Cruz has to have a big game for Pittsburgh to have any success.
A great looking stop by LA as we meet their starters.
Chelsea Hart, corner.
Dee Harvey, cornerback.
Ninachka Claude, safety.
Delaney Hall, safety. Megan Hansen, linebacker. Tiana Anderson, defensive end.
Naja Christmas, defensive end.
Middle linebacker Megan Hansen has had an outstanding year in the middle. Not a lot of publicity, but good football.
That is a little dump off. Megan Hansen, the middle linebacker, all over Remy Olenzak.
That was the question this year. Who can replace Hall of Fame linebacker Mo Gaxiola? Megan Hansen hasn't skipped a beat. You couldn't even notice that Mo Gaxiola is not playing the way she's hitting.
You could see Naja Christmas all over Morgan Spencer. Folks, this is the #1 ranked defense in the LFL right now, the Los Angeles Temptation. And they've got this Pittsburgh team on its heels, a 4th and 11. Ball at about the 14-yard line. It looked to be maybe Jessica Johnson jumping.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 15. 5-yard penalty, replay 4th down.
Check the penalty, that was Jolie Efezikai. With the penalty, now Pittsburgh backed up to its own 10. They can elect a punt here. If you're backed up inside your own 10, that is an option. That is indeed what Morgan Spencer does. What a leg on Spencer. And that ball will fall into the end zone. That should be a touchback.
That almost hit the scoreboard. What a punt by Morgan Spencer.
That will be a touchback. Ashley Salerno in Los Angeles taking over. We sat down with her earlier talking about the maturity and off-the-field issues.
So I know the word on the street is that I allegedly punched Kiara in the face or whatever at practice. That actually did not happen. It was just a small argument at practice that I think just escalated a little quickly because of a couple of other reasons. And I think that's been settled now, and we're ready to just come together as a team and move on.
That's the way it has to be for LA. She's the quarterback, the leader. She has to keep the team together, not get in fights.
A good-looking reverse to Delaney Hall. An even better hit in the open field by Efezikai. We have Efezikai mic'd up. Let's listen in.
Efezikai is a beast on both sides of the football. Delaney Hall with a good run. I know Tui Suinoa wanted to get her the ball more because she is a talented player.
A 2nd and 2 now, ball at the 23. A delayed handoff to Bourseau. Carmen Bourseau gaining 6 yards as we meet LA starters.
Megan Hansen, center.
Kiara Patterson, quarterback.
Aria Waga, tight end.
Kiana Takarangi, tight end.
Cynthia Schmidt, wide receiver. Carmen Bourseau, running back.
Ashley Salerno, quarterback.
LA offensive coordinator Jeff Loudon really wanted to feature Bourseau tonight. He didn't think that Pittsburgh defensive line could handle LA's OL.
They're really attacking the corners, it looks like. That was a toss right by Carmen Bourseau, gaining 7 yards, setting up a 2nd and 3. But you're right, I don't think outside of Kim Jack in that front line of Pittsburgh, there's not really anybody that physically can match up with Carmen Bourseau.
Well, that was the LA offensive game plan. They have a quarterback that can sling it, but they didn't think they could stop Bourseau, so they're going to go to Bourseau, I think, all night.
From the shotgun, that is a delayed handoff to Bourseau. This time gaining 5 yards, and that'll set up a 1st and goal for the Silver and Black.
You mentioned Pittsburgh cornerbacks. Kenya McKeon have a whale of a year so far. She's a #3 tackler in the LFL playing cornerback.
And just ahead of McKeon is the #2 tackler, also from Pittsburgh, that young lady, Jessica Johnson. So this Pittsburgh defense has really come together late in the season, and certainly the addition of Kim Jack does not hurt. Now a 1st and goal from the 9, handoff Bourseau. On cue, Jessica Johnson and Kim Jack, as we now meet the starters for this Pittsburgh defense.
Kenya McKeon.
Kenise Brown, cornerback.
Jolie Efezikai, free safety.
Remy Olenzak.
Jessica Johnson, middle linebacker.
Kim Jack, defensive end.
Tracy Wilmer, defensive end.
You mentioned it with Jack, Johnson, Efezikai, and McKeon. This Pittsburgh defense is almost there to becoming a great defense.
A 2nd and goal, and that ball went through the hands of Carmen Bourseau. A sure touchdown.
Great pass by Ashley Salerno, right on the money. Bourseau should have had this for 6. She threw it outside, hit her right in the chest, should have caught it for 6.
There's a reason she's your power back and not your first pass receiving option. Carmen Bourseau does not have the most sure hands in the league.
When you throw it to Bourseau, you have to take something off it. She was wide open, put a little fender in it so it doesn't bang right off her shoulder pad.
A 3rd and goal, ball at the Pittsburgh 10. Salerno back to pass, now taking off with it. And that's something you don't see from number 8 often, taking a quarterback slide.
I think Tui Suinoa got to her. We talked about that her whole career. And she's getting older now. She's going to get some injuries. She's not going to deliver the hit. She'll get the yardage and get down.
That was a 3-yard scramble by Salerno, a 4th and goal. And a big opportunity for this Pittsburgh defense to hold here.
Right now, this is huge for that Pittsburgh defense. If they could hold LA out of the end zone on their opening drive, this would be big.
4th and goal, ball at the 7. That is Cynthia Schmidt in motion. Handoff, Bourseau. Great outside seal blocking. Touchdown, Los Angeles.
Cynthia Schmidt, not known for her blocking. You're right. Watch the seal on the end. It wasn't a great block, just get in front of the defender, but that opened up Bourseau to walk in the end zone.
Bourseau has been an absolute touchdown machine inside the red zone. That is her 8th rushing touchdown of the season.
When she gets on the edge and turns the corner, goes north and south, she is unstoppable.
Now the extra point attempt from the 1-yard line. A quick lob, LA loves that release play. And that was deflected and caught by Cynthia Schmidt. I thought that fell incomplete.
Awaga wide open on the release, the tight end release. Great throw by Salerno, just doesn't catch the ball, but a heads up play by Cynthia Schmidt.
What about the concentration on Schmidt to come up with that? Los Angeles now leading at 7-0 behind impressive defensive play.
Hey, great job first series, guys. That's how you play fucking defense, man. Watching what was going on back there, you played it patiently, you went up, made tackles, made plays. That's how you do it.
Back to LFL football night. We have LA head coach Tui Suinoa mic'd up. He likes the effort by his defense early.
If they shut down Astrid Cruz, the running back, that's going to make it for a long night for quarterback Morgan Spencer to throw the football.
A 1st and 10 dribbler back to Spencer. And that just fed into the arms of Danielle Harvey.
Bad snap by Tracy Wilmer, the center. Good play recovering the football and trying to get yardage, but nothing there for Morgan Spencer.
That has been an issue here in Pittsburgh all season. The quarterback-center exchange, you would think that is a remedial play in football. They need to set some time aside, Pittsburgh does in practice, to really work on that.
All that is repetition, 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 repetition. I can't say it enough, and there will never be any quarterback-center exchange problems.
2nd and 15, Danielle Harvey has been just a stout defender for many years here in Los Angeles. Coming up big there on 1st down. Not sure what this is. This is Astrid Cruz, a direct snap to Cruz. It looked like Cruz was a bit confused there.
It was a wildcat situation. She got this snap. I think she was supposed to have an underhand shovel pass, but she didn't know what to do. A lot of confusion. Good play by LA.
That was a 3-yard gain after all that confusion. Setting up a 3rd and 12. Head coach Tui Suinoa, also the defensive coordinator for Los Angeles. He has this defense ranked number 1 right now in the league.
You can tell right now Pittsburgh does look totally confused. This is their 2nd drive, and I don't think they got much yardage at all. Here it is, 3rd and 12. Morgan Spencer's going to have to come up with something.
Ball at the Pittsburgh 13-yard line. Receivers flank to the left of Spencer. That is Astrid Cruz in the backfield. We do have a penalty here. Indications are this should be on Los Angeles.
Prior to snap, encroachment on the defense, breaking the 3-yard barrier, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Encroachment on Los Angeles, setting up a 3rd and 7.
Who they calling on? Who they calling on? He just said defense.
3rd and 7.
I need a number.
Watch the ball.
Hey! Hey, give me a number on that. Don't just say fucking defense.
You really have to hand it to quarterback Morgan Spencer using the snap count as a weapon. It drew Chelsea Hart off the edge of corner. She totally jumped.
Now a manageable 3rd and 7 for this offense. Down the field, double covered. That was an ill-advised pass. Lily Granston and company in coverage.
The only good thing about this is she overthrew it. You're right, she threw right into coverage, double covered, nothing there. I wonder why she didn't come underneath. Afezakai was open, who was their star receiver. Now they have to get rid of the football.
That was intended for Remy Olenzak, who's not known to come up with the deep ball. That's a close look at Lily Granston's cast, coming in with a broken arm. She's one of the toughest competitors in the game.
She was not supposed to play tonight. In fact, they counted her out when I talked to Tui Suwanoa. Before the game, she said she wanted to go.
A 4th and 7 shovel pass. That's to Olenzak. Olenzak will have no chance at 7 yards here. And this Pittsburgh offense will turn it over on downs again.
I really have to question that call by Jerome Kynes, the offensive coordinator. 4th and 7, he went right at the heart of the LA defense. The shovel pass going right at Megan Hansen, one of their star players.
So Los Angeles again with a very short field. The number 2 ranked offense in the LFL. You just can't give an Ashley Salerno this kind of advantage. Starting at their own 22, actually the Pittsburgh 22-yard line.
I hate to get on the offensive coordinator this early in the game, but Afezakai is their star go-to receiver. He hasn't even gone that way yet.
A toss left to Carmen Bourseau with a head of steam. That is an 8-yard carry for the F-150.
Carmen Bourseau, I think she got awoken when she played Austin. I mean, she got her chops blocked or hit a lot down there in Austin, but tonight she's coming out on fire.
I like how they developed her. Coming in from the Las Vegas Sin, her former team, she wasn't necessarily the featured back. They've made her the featured back in absence of Naz Johnson, who was not signed this year. That is a reverse play handoff. Cynthia Schmidt, the lanky wide receiver, showing some speed and gaining 6 yards. That'll bring us to the end of 1 quarter of play. Los Angeles up 7-0.
Osborne, I don't know what she's doing. She's not even in the game. She comes out of nowhere. Bam! Down goes Osborne.
That is Sonia Osselborn as we welcome you back to LFL football night. We sat down with her earlier to talk about the incident.
I don't like to dwell a lot on irrelevant things or people. It was cute. You know, I could barely walk, let alone cat scuffle. But I'm a competitor, and my passion brought me out there. And it's going to continue to bring me out there. But I just use it as motivation.
Wow, just a street fighter. She was not in the game. She was out hurt, came on the field, but she did get knocked out. That was quite a hit.
A 1st and goal for the Los Angeles offense. Ball at the 8. Osselborn missing from that Pittsburgh lineup because of an ankle. A great defensive play there by Afezakai. That size really coming into good use here.
Salerno did not see Afezakai. She came from the safety position. That ball should have, she could have gone for 6 points. Afezakai has great hands. In a big game like this, you have to make that play. That's a game changer. Wow, I can't believe she dropped that.
A poor decision, it appeared, by Ashley Salerno. That could have cost them this drive. A 2nd and goal. Ball remains at the 8 of Pittsburgh. That is Hall in motion. Good seal block to the outside. That is Carmen Bourseau. The F-150 just shoving defenders out of the way.
Watch Shiriwaga. She blocks up front, then comes outside, destroys the corner, allows Bourseau to cut right behind her for a 6. What a turn of events. If Afezakai makes that catch, it's only a 7-point game.
A lot of size on this LA offense. If you're a corner like Kenya McKeon and you see Shiriwaga at 5'11", 185 pounds coming at you, and then Carmen Bourseau, that is a tall task for anyone. Now the extra point attempt into the flat and dropped again by Carmen Bourseau.
Wide open, you gotta feather that ball a little bit, just get the ball out there so she can catch it. You can't fire a fastball, so that's twice she dropped the ball.
Los Angeles' offense is taking care of business when given the opportunity. 2 short fields and 2 scores. They lead this one 13-0.
Right now, offensive coordinator Jerome Kynes has to come up with some kind of play to open it up for somebody. If Fezekai for Cruz right now, he's not calling a good game.
Pittsburgh now a 1st and 10 from its own 15-yard line. They certainly have the weapons to move the ball. Astrid Cruz replacing Sonia Osselborn. We talked about that earlier. But you've got a Jolia Fezekai. You've got to get her the ball here at some point. A 1st and 10 handoff. That looks to be Astrid Cruz. Lily Granston coming up from the strong safety position with that broken arm.
Oh my God, I didn't see pulled me off of her.
Hold on, listen.
I didn't do a damn thing.
Are you gonna listen?
What are you gonna say?
You started crawling off of her with your knee and
No, I did not. I'm trying to get up and let's go push me down. I swear.
Second down.
Second down and 10.
Whatever. I did. Okay, yeah.
That is Chelsea Hart, also mic'd up tonight. She gets a bad rap for being dirty, and you could see the referees warning her to legally tackle. She tends to go high, as does Agam Chichindu, the injured corner on the other side. Meanwhile, that's a completed pass to Jessica Johnson, a gain of 7 yards. In fact, we sat down to talk to Hart about the reputation of being dirty here in Los Angeles.
A lot of people call my defense and Agam's defense dirty play, but I don't think so at all. We play hard and we do everything that we can to stop the person in front of us. And if that means that we're dirty and we're too rough for you, then that sucks for you.
That's their game. That's the way LA plays defense. They are great football players, but they're not afraid to throw an extra shot in there.
Meanwhile, a great-looking inside handoff to Astrid Cruz. That'll be enough for Pittsburgh's first down of this game. A gain of 5 yards for Cruz.
That's what they're going to have. In fact, they need that. They need that running game because Morgan Spencer can throw it, but she can only throw it in play-action situations underneath. But if it's relying just on her passing, it's not going to happen.
1st and 10, ball finally on the Los Angeles side of the field for Pittsburgh at about the 23-yard line. Spencer under center, handing it off to Cruz again. Look at Cruz get to the outside. The 5'1" running back. That was a 12-yard carry.
That's what we expected to start the game off. She is like a spark plug. She came right through the middle, right at Megan Hansen, and bam, popped it outside. Solid run by Cruz.
Make that about an 8-yard gain, setting up a 2nd and 2. Astrid Cruz signed late. Sonia Osselborn was penciled in as the starting running back for Pittsburgh, but has had a nagging ankle injury all season. Enter Astrid Cruz. A 2nd and 2 dump off to Cruz in the flat. A great job by Danielle Harvey and that defense, limiting Cruz to a no gain.
I'm just jamming, honey. What do you mean touching her? You shut the fuck up, bitch.
That is their game. Chelsea Hart doing what Agam Chichindu is great doing after the play, talking trash, but they back it up. Like I said, they play good football, but they talk a lot of junk.
Chelsea Hart picking up where Agam Chichindu left off. Chichindu out of this game with a broken finger, vowing to return for the playoffs. No shortage of personality with the silver and black. Now a 3rd and 2 play. That is Spencer handing it off again to Cruz. That interior of the defense really playing well. That is Danielle Harvey on the tackle, setting up a 4th and 1.
That's where they really missed Sonia Osselborn. She's 145 pounds. Astrid Cruz only 5'1". Trying to go with that hard at that LA defense, not going to happen.
Kiana Takarangi, the Aussie, coming over. This LA crowd understanding the importance of this 4th down play. Morgan Spencer in this offense taking a lot of time in the huddles. Perhaps this is an offense they need to dumb down a bit because they take a lot of time to set up each play.
When I spoke with Morgan Spencer, she's not real happy about this scheme. She'd like to change it up a little bit.
In fact, Pittsburgh electing to call a timeout. We'll go to a break as well. LA up 13-0. Back to LFL football night, a beautiful night in Los Angeles, California. We are indoors, but we enjoyed our time down on Sunset Boulevard.
I love Sunset Boulevard. Like I said, when the sun goes down, this becomes a different city and a different team here with the Temptation.
A 4th and 1 for this offense. Handoff, Cruz, and look at her breaking through arm tackles. Astrid Cruz on a 10-yard run, a vital first down for this offense.
That's the Cruz we expected to see. She has some skills. She breaks ankles with a move. She needed the yardage. Watch this. Finds the hole. Breaks one ankle there. Breaks another ankle there. That's just great running right there by Cruz.
Lily Granston and Delaney Hall both whiffing on Cruz. That's got to be one of the tough things. Standing at 5'1", it is tough to get down there and get a good handle on Cruz.
She's small. She's fast. She's quick. We expected that. I expect to see a lot more of that tonight.
1st and goal, ball at the Los Angeles 4. This time Spencer under center, a kind of a bunch set, rolling left, throwing into the end zone. Targeting a Fezekai, but beyond the outstretched arms of the 6'1" receiver.
This is all footwork on Morgan Spencer. She has to get her shoulders around across the back of the end zone. Fezekai was open, but her footwork didn't get the shoulders around, hence the high pass. No touchdown for Pittsburgh.
2nd and goal now for this Pittsburgh offense. Trailing this game 13-0. A great opportunity to make this a closely matched game against one of the more elite teams in the LFL. This time Spencer back in the shotgun. A 2nd and 4 handoff to Cruz. This time LA's defense really keying on Cruz. That should be a no-gain run by Astrid Cruz.
I hate to say it, the hole was there. The blocking was there, traffic was there, slow developing, a little more quicker, she could have gone on the end zone.
This LA defense, very athletic. Chelsea Hart and Megan Hansen, a pair of the veterans. Hansen coming over from the Seattle Mist a couple years ago, and what an opportune signing that was, knowing that Monique Gaxiola was on the tail end of her career.
We tell a lot of the young coaches they have to go out and recruit. The one thing Stewie Suwanoa does, and the great coaches do, they always recruit. They don't stop 24 hours a day.
3rd and goal play, a horrible looking pass from Spencer. That was intended for Tracy Wilmer, setting up a 4th and goal.
They tried to get Tracy Wilmer one-on-one with Najah Christmas, and it worked. It just took too long developing, and a bad pass ball never got there. But Christmas, good coverage on Wilmer.
Give credit to Takarangi letting up there on Morgan Spencer and avoiding potentially a late hit and a first down.
That's right. That would have been an easy first down for Pittsburgh. Right now, Pittsburgh has to come up with a play. They need points to stop the bleeding.
Here comes that Los Angeles crowd. On a vital 4th and goal, this should take us to the 2-minute warning. That is indeed it. When we come back, we've got quite the 4th down for you. That'll take us to our 2-minute break with Los Angeles up 13-0.
Hey, get in the backfield like you have been. Look how quick she's getting back there. That's how fast you should be getting back there. She's not even touching that girl. She's just blowing right by her. I need you back there too.
Back for the final 2 minutes of the first half. Head coach Tui Soinoa mic'd up and encouraging his #1 ranked defense to hold here on a 4th and goal. Spencer under center, fakes the handoff, rolling right, under pressure, and dumping it off to Astrid Cruz. Cruz falling into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Wow, just what the doctor ordered. I don't know how Morgan Spencer got rid of this football. She was getting some serious heat. Watch this. Looks like she's going to get sacked in the backfield, getting crushed back there by Megan Hansen. Somehow delivers the football to Cruz, and she plows into the end zone, going through Granson. Unbelievable play.
Granston, one of the tougher safeties in the game. You got to wonder, not having the use of her right arm in that cast, if that impacted her and trying to tackle Astrid Cruz.
I'm sure it did, but she was out leveraged. Cruz got underneath of her.
We've got a timeout, Pittsburgh. That is their final timeout of the half.
Was she in? Was she in? Hey! Hey, was she in? Guys, was she in? Hey, was she in? Guys, did she get in on that side? If her body was across the planes, then yeah. All right.
Head coach Tui Soanoa debating if he wanted to challenge that Cruz touchdown, but it clearly looked like she passed and got into the goal line. And it's not her body, it's the football, and the football made it across.
That crossed the plane, no question. Not a whole lot of communication when he asked the question. He had to ask that question 8 times until somebody answered it.
So Los Angeles giving up a big-time touchdown to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, an expansion team now, can draw to within 6 points of the temptation. Astrid Cruz, that Wildcat set is not working for the Rebellion. So our score will remain 13-6 Los Angeles.
Megan Hansen, once they went into the Wildcat, that kind of takes the pass option out of it. She blitzed and caught Cruz for no gain.
Give credit to defensive coordinator Tui Soanoa, has a great scheme to manage this Pittsburgh offense despite giving up that touchdown.
And for Pittsburgh, they have to be happy. Right now, they're only down 7 points. LA is an elite team with more talent than they have, but they're in this one.
That is an excellent point. If you told head coach Joe DeBerry of Pittsburgh 2 minutes remaining in the first half, it would be a 13-6 game, I think he would take that.
Against his high-powered offense, he would absolutely take that.
A 1st and 10, fakes the handoff to Bourseau down the field. Nearly connecting with Cynthia Schmidt, and Schmidt was running well behind the defender.
Ashley Salerno will want this one back. Wide open down the sideline. If she puts a little bit more air under it, a little more arc, that's 6 points. She kept the ball flat, and Schmidt could not adjust.
Schmidt coming into the season as the #1 ranked receiver has had a really tough time in this offense, racking up some receptions. This time they're going to look to the flat. That is complete to Delaney Hall. The speedy receiver, good for 9 yards.
That's a great point what you brought up about this offense. There's so much talent. If you're Jeff Loud, the offensive coordinator, do you pass the ball when you have Salerno and Schmidt, or you keep it on the ground with Bourseau?
A 3rd and 2 toss play to Bourseau. There's your answer. Bourseau bulldozing a Fezekai en route to an 8-yard run.
Jeff Loud knows if he gets outside on the corners with a little bit of help from their receivers, he has the moves like that and the power to go right over a Fezekai. Wow!
This Los Angeles offense can beat you with a lot of weapons. We talked about Delaney Hall, Cynthia Schmidt, and Carmen Bourseau. A 1st and 10 ball at the Pittsburgh 18. That's Salerno back to pass, now taking off with it, finding a seam. And a good-looking tackle there by Jessica Johnson to limit that to 7 yards.
Salerno back in the pocket, had all kinds of time. She turned it up quick, got 7 yards. She could have stood back there. That's a little bit of a problem. Some quarterbacks, most quarterbacks, can't run like Salerno. She can run, so that's why she looks to run real quick.
Los Angeles electing to call a timeout here. They know how important this possession is when you consider Pittsburgh scored on their previous. So a good opportunity for this offense to get one more score before the half.
They want this badly. Pittsburgh, like you mentioned earlier, their head coach would be extremely happy to walk in the locker room only down 7.
A 2nd and 3 now, ball at the Pittsburgh 11-yard line. There's Jessica Johnson, the league's #2 tackler. And it appears Johnson is spying Ashley Salerno. On a 2nd and 3, that is Salerno with the keeper, getting to the edge. And now Salerno wanting to kill the clock, but the clock is stopped. She did go out of bounds. And it appears Ashley Salerno just realized it and is calling a huddle now.
A lot of confusion right there, but she should know. She's a 7-year veteran. She ran out of bounds. The clock stopped.
Los Angeles does not have any timeouts remaining. That's why you saw a little bit of panic with Salerno. Now plenty of time to just settle in and try to take a shot here at the end zone. That was Carmen Bourseau in motion. Salerno now another design keeper getting into the end zone. And that is the option Salerno gives you. Touchdown, Los Angeles.
Sometimes I wonder if that was a design play. She likes to run a lot. She looked outside, one-on-one coverage, Cynthia Schmidt at 6'1", but she only looked out there for half a second and took it in on her own.
Ashley Salerno, regarded as the strongest arm in the history of the LFL, but is not shy to tuck it and run the football. Now the two-point conversion for Los Angeles, throwing to the corner and complete. This time Carmen Bourseau does hang on. Los Angeles extends its lead to 21-6.
Great route by Bourseau, and you see the touch on the ball. Did you ever play egg toss mix where you throw it up so you have to catch it lightly? You put it out there softly like that, and Bourseau can catch it.
That was a defensive player. We got steaks thrown in the air. You guys played with eggs, you soft offensive guys.
Well, we catch footballs. Defensive guys don't have to catch. In fact, that's why they play defense, because they can't catch.
I will vouch for that. The worst hands in the history of high school football was Mitch Mortaza. A 1st and 10 ball at the Pittsburgh 15. And this offense does have the weapons, namely number 15, Afezikai, to score here and score quickly.
It's shocking they haven't gone to Afezikai. She can get deep, she can take the top off of any coverage, and Morgan Spencer can throw it deep, and surprisingly, they haven't tried it yet.
Flanking 3 receivers to the right side of Spencer. This time Spencer dropping back to pass. That is Danielle Harvey all over Spencer. A dangerous looking pass from Spencer. That'll fall incomplete.
Sometimes as a quarterback, you have to step up in the pocket even though you know you're going to get crushed and deliver the football. When you take it outside like that, nothing good ever happens.
And you got to lay that at the doorstep of the center, Tracy Wilmer. She continues to dribble the ball back to Spencer. By the time Spencer bends over, Spencer's a taller quarterback, picks it up. The defender's already in her face.
She's not getting a lot of time right now. You're right, with that ball not getting back to her quick, it throws everything off.
2nd and 10, ball remains at the 15. Astrid Cruz flanking to the right of Spencer. Another poor snap by Wilmer. Rolling right and just throwing into the stands. That'll set up a 3rd and 10.
That defensive front of LA, Megan Hansen, Anderson, and Najah Christmas are putting all kind of heat on Morgan Spencer. She has absolutely 0 time to get rid of the football. Wow, what a rush.
Tijuana Anderson, the rookie from the corner position, coming up and rushed Spencer's throw. And you could see she was trying to buy time to allow Afezikai to get down the field.
Again, when you get a blitz like that, you have to adjust to the blitz. You have to throw a quick pass. They're not doing it right now.
3rd and 10, ball remains at the 15. Pittsburgh still has time to work down the field. This is a little shovel pass. That's not going to get anywhere. That was complete to Remy Olenzak. And there's the Dark Princess, Megan Hansen.
I see what offensive coordinator Jerome Kynes was trying to do with that strong rush against the blitz, one-on-one underneath. It didn't work against Hansen.
They are not going to get a playoff. No, they're going to give them the play down the field. That was intended for Afezikai. You could see the frustration on the face of Afezikai. Not happy with Morgan Spencer. She's been held in check through the first 20 minutes of play.
Those two have to get together in the second half.
That'll bring us to the end of the first half. Los Angeles dominating on the offense and defensive side of the ball, leading this one 21-6.
Why am I here? Why am I working my ass off? Because you just don't want to listen to me. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, right? But every fucking play I call, they're running. Every fucking play, I taught y'all how to stop it. I told you where to be. Listen to me. I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Welcome back to LFL Football Night. Here at halftime, Los Angeles with a 21-6 lead. More of a defensive battle in a run-oriented game through one half of play.
Definitely not the offensive fireworks we thought we were going to have between these two teams. For LA, it's been the F-150. Carmen Bourseau again pounding it out on the ground, averaging 6 yards a carry. For Pittsburgh, Astrid Cruz replacing again the running back Sonia Alsaborn, only 19 yards on 9 carries. Not a good first half.
That's not going to get the pressure off Morgan Spencer, only getting 19 yards on the ground. Staying with Pittsburgh through the air, Jolie Efezikai. Here's a young lady that's absolutely dominated the league through most of the season, but has yet to really be targeted through one half of play.
She is simply a beast at receiver. I'm really surprised offensive coordinator Jerome Kynes has not targeted her more. Only one target in the first half, incomplete pass. They have to get her the football.
For Los Angeles, Ashley Salerno, we talked about her in the pregame show. She's simply not dominating the way she has in previous seasons.
Yes, you're right. They're winning the game, but she's only 1 out of 4 in the first half passing. She does have 21 yards on the ground. But because of the level of competition in the LFL increases, gets better every year, she can't dominate the way she used to.
Now, Salerno did get involved with the scoring in the first half. Let's look at some of those scoring plays. But it was mainly F-150. Carmen Bourseau of Los Angeles with a pair of touchdowns on the ground. This one from 7 yards out and another one from 8 yards out. Pittsburgh did manage to get on the board. Morgan Spencer in trouble here, but finding Astrid Cruz on a 4-yard shovel pass that scored for Pittsburgh. Then before the half, Salerno, not with her arm but her feet, with this 6-yard touchdown run. That brings us to our halftime score of 21-6 as we look at the first half stats.
LA tripled the production of Pittsburgh's offense in the first half. Pittsburgh has to change that. Their running game has to get better with Cruz doing more, and they have to get the ball to Jolie Efezikai down the field.
Pittsburgh has 20 minutes remaining in its season. Can they mount a rally, or will Los Angeles dominate? Let's say it together. Kickoff is next. Back to LFL football night as we look at our starting quarterbacks.
Spencer, 6 out of 12, 34 yards, 1 touchdown, and surprisingly, Ashley Salerno only 1 out of 4 for 9 yards, but she did have a couple drops.
That was the key. Carmen Bourseau dropping it, and then she also overshot Cynthia Schmidt on that go pattern.
Could have been totally different. Should have been 3 out of 4, you're right.
This is the quarterback, Morgan Spencer, kicking it off here for the second half. A nice-looking kick fielded. Poorly fielded, I should say. That was Nanuchka Cloud, the rookie wide receiver, and I'm sure she'll hear about that.
She will, from wide receiver coach Rory Derry. He spoke highly of Nanuchka. Good wheels, but the hands she's got to work on, obviously.
Ashley Salerno, you mentioned it, 1 of 4. We're not used to seeing numbers like that from number 8. She did have a few of those drops that we talked about, but they've got to open up this offense. Carmen Bourseau is a proven back. We have seen it. Now let's open up the offense and see if you've got a passing game here in Los Angeles.
Well, you have to get that clicking. Yeah, that running game is going to work against Pittsburgh, but when they play Atlanta, they're going to need a strong passing game.
And on cue down the field, that was intended for Delaney Hall. That fell incomplete again.
Delaney Hall, one-on-one coverage. She was there. She should have came down with the football. Just a bad adjustment. Good throw by Salerno.
It appears that the timing is off in the passing tree. We've seen Salerno overshoot Cynthia Schmidt and Delaney Hall. Could that be the lack of practice time with all the issues that Ashley Salerno had off the field?
Something's affecting it because there's all kind of talent. The receivers are talented. Obviously the quarterback is, but they're just not clicking.
A 2nd and 10 handoff. They're going to go back to the workhorse. And how about the blow that Kim Jack laid on Carmen Bourseau?
Kim Jack, she did this in Baltimore where she was all fantasy. This is a classic, just get out of my face. Bam! See you later, Bourseau. Wow!
Kim Jack, a bit of a journeywoman ever since Baltimore stopped being a franchise. Likes the home that she's found here in Pittsburgh and part of a very good Pittsburgh defense that they're building.
If Joe DeBerry, the head coach, can keep them together, get a couple more girls, they can be really solid.
A good-looking touch pass to Delaney Hall. We talked about this passing game opening up a bit. It looks like they're going to it.
Great read by Salerno. A mismatch. You have Delaney Hall going against Kenise Brown. More talent there. Good read by Salerno. That's what they got to do. Move the ball down, get the mismatch, and move the football down the field.
A handoff to Bourseau right up the middle. A gain of 6 yards. That is the balance this offense is going to need. They cannot rely solely on Carmen Bourseau despite the season she's having.
I can't blame them. Look at that average, 5.8 yards per carry. If I was the offensive coordinator just like Jeff Loudon, I mean, how can't you give her the football when she runs like that?
2nd and 4 for this offense. coming into the game, the number 2 ranked offense in the LFL. A handoff again to Bourseau, this time 2 yards. Held to a modest gain by Jessica Johnson.
Jessica Johnson leading the league in tackling, helped out by Afezikai with Kim Jack. They are starting to gel. Unfortunately, this is their last game of the season.
A 3rd and 2 now from the Pittsburgh 12-yard line. You talked about the defense. Overall, this Pittsburgh team, the offense looks impressive. The defense is coming together. They got to be feeling good about where they are right now. This is Ashley Salerno. Speaking of feeling good, does manage 2 yards. That'll be good enough for a 1st and goal, Los Angeles.
We spoke about her off-the-field problems. This is why she's the best there is. She scrambled out of the pocket. She no longer takes the hits she used to take. She got the first down, got down, went back in the huddle, and play again.
Los Angeles fans not used to seeing number 8 take a slide. They've seen the viral videos of her laying out defenders at the goal line. But perhaps you mentioned it, she's getting older, getting wiser. She wants to play this game a few more years. A 1st and goal from the 10, handoff Bourseau. Not able to get around Kim Jack. A great tackle, actually make that Jolie Afezikai. No gain on the run by Bourseau.
Afezikai, we spoke about the safeties for Los Angeles. We haven't spoke about Afezikai playing safety. We talked about her playing wide receiver. But she closes that gap so quick, and she is so big back there. One of the biggest safeties in the league, but bam, she comes up and makes it stick.
A 2nd and goal now as the clock continues to run. We are under 6 minutes. And that is Salerno just baiting her time and getting it down to the 7-yard line. I like the patience of allowing her blocks to develop.
Quarterback draw again inside the 20-yard line. You would think Bourseau would get the ball, but Salerno is just as deadly in the red zone running the football.
Another big opportunity for this Pittsburgh defense to get a stop here. A 3rd and goal, ball at the 3-yard line. And again, Salerno calling her own number, getting to the goal line. And I'm not sure if she crossed the plane there. They're gonna give her the touchdown. And you can bank on the fact that Pittsburgh will probably challenge this.
I don't think she got in. Remy Olenzak came up. The ball, I think her knee might have got in, but the ball was behind the plane, and Remy Olenzak pulled her out. Watch this. I don't think the ball crossed the plane.
You could see her body clearly did not, nor did the football. And that is indeed the call here.
Pittsburgh is challenging the result of the play as a touchdown. Timeout.
I think that's a pretty good call there by Pittsburgh. You mentioned it. It's not her body, it's where is the football. And you could see that clearly the football does not break the plane at any point.
Again, Afezikai came up and made the first hit. Then Remy Olenzak came in. That's why you always have to play to the echo of the whistle. The play's never over. She did not get in.
The time's cool, time's correct. So after review, the ruling on the field has been changed. Runner was down prior to crossing the goal line. And LA's ball, 4th and goal from the 1.
That's a listen in to head referee Jeremy Hike. So it appears this call will be reversed.
After review, the ruling on the field has been changed. The ball carrier did not cross the goal line with her ball in the air. 4th down for LA and goal from the half-yard line. Pittsburgh has not been charged a team timeout.
What a challenge for Joe DeBerry and that Pittsburgh coaching staff. They saw what we saw. Salerno clearly did not break the plane.
Great defensive play, great challenge by Joe DeBerry. Let's see if Pittsburgh can do it again. I mean, the ball's got to be on like the inch line. This is going to be an interesting play.
A 4th and goal. This has got to be Carmen Bourseau territory, I would think, if I'm the Pittsburgh defense.
Well, she's not in the backfield. It's got to be Salerno then.
They did clear her out. This is Salerno. Now a toss to Bourseau. And again with the drop, Carmen Bourseau. So Pittsburgh holds, and we've got a media timeout on a big stop by the Pittsburgh defense.
Why the fuck are we throwing the ball on 4th and goal?
Welcome back to LFL football night. That is Tuiso Inoa. He has nothing to do with the offensive side of the ball, complaining there as to the play selection on that 4th and goal.
That reminded me of the 2 Super Bowls. Marshawn Lynch in the backfield, give him the football. You've got Bourceau in the backfield. You have Ashley Salerno who can get it in, and you throw a pass after you've had 4 drops already in the game. Just a terrible call by OC Jeff Loudon. Wow.
Offensive coordinator for Los Angeles, Jeff Loudon, has gotten a lot of bad press. And to be honest with you, I've personally heard from players that they're not happy with him as their offensive coordinator.
Tui Suinoa absolutely not happy right there. I don't blame them. They need inches, and they throw it outside one-on-one where you have everything that can happen. It could be a mistake, an incompletion, interception, drop ball like we've seen all night. Wow, what a bad call.
As we speak, the Pittsburgh offense going to work, managing only a yard on that carry by Jessica Johnson, setting up a 3rd and 7.
Going back to that call, I get it. You got one-on-one coverage, but you need an inch, and you have 2 powerful backs in your backfield. You don't give them the ball.
That is a play that could haunt Los Angeles if Pittsburgh can mount a rally here. A 3rd and 7 from the Pittsburgh 4-yard line. Spencer under center, handing it off to Cruz. A big lane for Cruz, and she just let up. She did manage 6 yards on the carry, but it appeared that Cruz just stopped.
What a block by center Tracy Wilmer, absolutely destroying Megan Hansen. You're right, Cruz had the hole there. A great block by Wilmer, but she didn't follow the block and kind of stopped. That was a weird run right there.
It appeared she got a good look at Lily Granston and didn't want anything to do with her.
Something happened.
We've got a measurement hold here. They're going to see if Cruz did pick up the 1st down. From our angle, it appeared she was a bit short. Needed 7 yards and picked up 6. You could see right there, had she led with her body, she would have easily fallen over for another yard.
Look at that great block by Wilmer. If she turns it up, north-south, not run outside, that's a 1st down.
Good looking tackle here by Lily Cranston and Chelsea Hart. Hart again going up top. She's not careful. She's going to get a penalty there. I don't think they're going to get this 1st down, but we're going to measure it. Looks to be maybe about a chain link short. So that will set up a 4th and 1 for the Pittsburgh offense.
Down 21-6, not a bad time to do play action and go deep. Take a shot, why not? This is your last game of the year. But then again, with the 3-yard push in, it should be easy to get 1 yard.
A vital 4th and 1 for this Pittsburgh offense. They can elect a punt here, but it looks like they're going to go for it. Here comes that Los Angeles crowd. Spencer under center, looking over that defense. And that looked like LA may have jumped. And now a fumble. The handoff was intended for Astrid Cruz. It appeared that Los Angeles clearly jumped. That should have been a flag.
If they don't call it on LA, the left tackle of Pittsburgh totally jumped. It should be a motion penalty. There's a penalty one way or the other. Look at their left tackle jump, but they didn't throw a flag either way. That should be it should be a penalty and another 4th down.
They should have really stopped that play before it even started. As you said, people jumped on both sides of the ball. Nonetheless, Los Angeles taking over at the Pittsburgh 8-yard line. How about the field position this offense has enjoyed all game?
That was a huge call right there. I mean, Pittsburgh's only down 2 scores. Now LA gets the ball inside the red zone, inside the 10.
Salerno from the shotgun. Fakes the option of Bourceau, keeping it herself. Salerno picking up 2 yards, not shy to call her own number.
Not shy at all, but again, that Pittsburgh defense, they swarmed around her. There was nothing there. There was no option pitch. She cut it upside, and they swarmed on her.
A 2nd and goal. Los Angeles could blow this game wide open here. That is the opportunity in front of them. Previously, they were inside the red zone and could not come away with a touchdown on that questionable 4th and 1 call by Jeff Loudon, the offensive coordinator. This time keeping it on the ground. And I think Jeff Loudon got the memo. Go to Carmen Bourceau. Touchdown, Los Angeles.
That LA offensive line has not gotten enough credit. Watch Sherry Awaga do a double block and make the key line. Bam! Kicks her outside. Corso makes the cut. 6 points, LA. What a block by Awaga.
Los Angeles will now line up for the 1-point conversion, leading this one 27-6. Salerno rolling right, can walk this one in, but decides to throw it to the back of the end zone. And that is caught by Kiana Takarangi, the Aussie tight end.
That call I like by Jeff Loudon. It gives the quarterback the pass run option. Clearly, Salerno could have walked in the end zone running, but she threw it back to the Aussie. Just a great read, great call by Loudon.
With a 22-point margin, this Pittsburgh offense has now got to abandon the run to a degree and look down the field to Efezikai and Jessica Johnson.
That is the elephant in the room. Why isn't he throwing the football or getting the ball somehow to Efezikai, the most talented player on the team, and she's not getting any looks at all tonight?
The offensive coordinator, Jermont Kynes, very new to this, was signed halfway through the season. So I'm sure he's still figuring out this personnel. That is a double reverse, it looked like. Astrid Cruz will only gain a yard. Naja Christmas quietly having a great game.
The only time you run a reverse is when you have a sweep that's working, and the sweep hasn't worked at all, so there's no pursuit going that way. It's just another questionable call.
With your doubting of Jeff Loudon, now Jermont Kynes, is this your way of lobbying for a job with one of these two teams?
I just love offensive football, and there's so much talent on both sides, but they're not using it.
A 2nd and 9 ball at the Pittsburgh 16. Spencer back to throw, nice looking crossing pattern. That is complete to Efezikai, finally number 15 getting involved.
Just like that, bam, 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 3-step drop, in traffic, great throw, and she can catch the football like that in traffic. Where's that been all night?
Give credit to Efezikai just holding on to that ball. Sandwiched between Megan Hansen and it looked like Lily Cranston. Efezikai standing in at 6'1", easily the tallest receiver in the LFL. A 1st and 10 for Pittsburgh. Handoff to Cruz. Look at the defense just waiting on Astrid Cruz. That will be a loss of 4 yards.
Danielle Harvey, she seems like she's played for 20 years in this league, but she keeps getting better and better and better. We don't mention her a lot because of all the talent around her, but just a great football player.
Yeah, Harvey quietly has had a legendary career, pardon the pun, with the Los Angeles Temptation. She is also in her 6th season. While they've lost several key pieces, namely Monique Gaxiola, that young lady has been with this franchise for a long time.
She reminds me of Leroy Selman, one of the NFL greats. We don't hear a lot about her off the field, but on the field, play after play after play, she's in the game.
Never heard of Leroy Selman, so great point.
He's in the Hall of Fame.
That is a reverse to Remy Olenzak. This defense.
You like that shit? You like that shit? You like that shit? You like that fight? Oh yeah! That's what I'm talking about, bitch! That's what I'm talking about, bitch! Hell yeah! Fuck yeah!
I want what Chelsea Hart had this morning.
Chelsea Hart getting this crowd riled up. You gotta love it. They're up 28-6, and she is wound up. I love it.
That'll bring us to the end of the 3rd quarter with Los Angeles up 28-6, but Pittsburgh driving. Back for the final 10 minutes, an incredible atmosphere here inside Citizens Business Bank Arena. The pirate ship is rocking in Los Angeles.
I think the beer camp had a lot to do with that at halftime. One of the funnest things I've ever seen. I know the NFL does not do that, but this crowd is having fun.
A 3rd and 16 for the Pittsburgh offense. An opportunity to really mount a drive here. That is Spencer back to pass a lot of time down the field. And that was an ugly looking pass to Jessica Johnson as Johnson tried coming back for the football.
Well, you could see Morgan Spencer saw some ghosts in the pocket. She had time, but her feet were like not settled, moving back, and she couldn't get behind that throw. Way underthrew it. And she had time.
And it appeared Johnson had gotten behind the defender. Spencer certainly does not have the arm that Ashley Salerno has.
Well, she has a decent arm when she sets up and steps up into her throws, but she is punch drunk from getting hit all night, so she's throwing off her back foot, hence the ball doesn't get there.
4th and 16 for Spencer, has her work cut out for her. Johnson and Fezekai both flanked to the right side, and this time Spencer doing her best. Ashley Salerno not even close. That was 7 yards, she needed 16, so LA will take over.
As much as I've been back at Morgan Spencer all night, I'm not sure what she was thinking there. You need 17 and she slides after getting 6.
Yeah, that's a shot you got to take down the field. Obviously, you're out of the playoff picture. You've got 10 minutes remaining in your season. You really have nothing to lose.
I wonder if she just lost count because she has the receiver to throw it up to, but it's almost like she just handed the ball back to LA.
Los Angeles now merely has to run the final 9 minutes of this clock down. And you got to figure they're going to do that on the feet of Ashley Salerno and Carmen Borceau.
At what point do you rest your star players? 3 players are out this week. Their center Sands is out for the year. Agam Chindu is out. Lily Grant's been playing with a broken wrist. This game, 28-6. At what point do you pull the starter?
That is the weekly question. We've sat through a few blowouts this year with top-level teams like Seattle and Chicago blowing out the door of Denver and Austin and the others. But when you're dealing with a roster of only 14 active, it is really tough to sit anybody.
The one thing you don't want, LA clinched a playoff spot. You don't want any of your key people getting hurt, and they're going to have to play.
A 2nd and 1 after that 9-yard Awaga run. This is Salerno looking down the field, nobody open, and again taking a slide. That was good for 5 yards, and that'll be enough for a Los Angeles first down.
You can tell by that play selection that OC Jeff Loud is not going to take the pedal off the accelerator. Play action pass, he was looking deep in the end zone, tucked it for a positive gain, but they're not going to run this clock out.
The betting line on this game was Los Angeles -17. They're certainly covering that. Up 22 with a chance to go up more. A 1st and 10 at the Pittsburgh 13. Salerno faking the handoff, throwing to the corner of the end zone. And that was dropped by Cynthia Schmidt. And Schmidt getting into it with Jessica Johnson.
Cynthia Schmidt completely turned Remy Olenzak around. Should have been 6 points. Schmidt never drops balls like that. But like you mentioned earlier in the game, something's up with this connection between Salerno and the receiver. They're just not hitting it tonight.
Cynthia Schmidt really struggling in the passing game after having a very good 2016 season. As I mentioned earlier, projected as the #1 receiver in the game. Salerno paying the price there on a keeper of Fezekai, blowing her up.
That's what I'm talking about right there. Trip set, quarterback sweep to the left. You're up 28-6. If Salerno gets nicked up or injured, there goes their Legends Cup chances. You don't run your quarterback, right?
No, in that case, I think you've got to protect her from herself. You kind of get the feeling when you watch Salerno, she calls her number a lot. I'm not sure if she's given the creative freedom to make those calls. A 3rd and 4, Salerno back to pass. Into the flat and into the end zone. Touchdown, Los Angeles. The Aussie, Kiana Takarangi.
Takarangi, the Aussie, you mentioned it, is the only one catching footballs tonight. One-on-one and out route, wide open, great catch in front of the wall. You notice how she keeps her elbows in like kangaroos do so the ball can't get through. What a catch.
What a pattern by Takarangi. You usually don't expect that from your tight ends, but showing her nimbleness and athleticism.
Great play, great throw. I like everything about that play. Get her the ball more often.
Los Angeles lead now 34-6. Going for the 1-point conversion. Great convergence there by Remy Olenzak and Misty Gonzalez.
Why would you call that?
Ashley Salerno pretty much saying what we've been saying the whole game. Not happy with the OC and what he's calling out there.
Ashley Salerno in her 7th season and all the success that she's had is one of the few quarterbacks, maybe the only quarterback, that could warrant calling her own plays.
100%. I mean, she can check off. She reads defenses. She knows this offense inside and out. But if I was 2-0, I would hand her the whole offense. Let her do what she wants.
Especially when Jeff Loudon, the offensive coordinator, is struggling the way he is. There's another look at Salerno. Salerno actually was the varsity quarterback in high school. That tells you how good she is.
Which is incredible. And she knows this game inside and out, playing 7 seasons. That's not a bad idea for Dewey Sulanoa.
Varsity for the boys, by the way, in case you're wondering. That is a completed pass in the flat to Jessica Johnson. Johnson gaining 6 yards on the reception.
Salerno has so much talent on the field. If she can keep everything off the field clean and get together with her players and coaching staff, this team can advance in the playoffs, but they have to play as one.
A 2nd and 4 now for the Pittsburgh offense. Los Angeles not letting up here. Very impressive here in the second half after allowing 6 points to Pittsburgh in the first. That is Astrid Cruz. You can tell at halftime Los Angeles made an adjustment and are really focusing on Cruz. The holding call on Gina Campisi. We saw Campisi last in the Omaha game, was tossed out of that game for throwing a punch.
She's got a little fire to her, a little attitude. I like it, but that play was so slow developing. She had her block, but to hold it on that long, she had a hold.
2nd and 9 after the Campisi holding call. Ball at the Pittsburgh 16-yard line. Spencer remains in the shotgun with Cruz flanked to her left side. Looking over that defense. Now Spencer dropping back to pass. Good-looking completion. That was a 13-yard connection with Misty Gonzalez.
Really got to like how Misty Gonzalez came back and caught the football, but then when she turned it upfield, you got to wonder if she's running against the wind, but she got yardage.
Not the fastest tight end in the league, nor the smallest.
Great hands.
That has been one of the problems with this Pittsburgh team. Several players, including Gonzalez, showed up out of shape, and that's really hurt them during the course of the season. A 1st and 10. Bobby does not want to touch that point. Astrid Cruz. Cruz gaining 5 yards.
You're right. I was right on the edge. It's like, should I jump on that?
A 5-yard carry. Now a 2nd and 5. Astrid Cruz, one of the ones that were actually in shape. Great military background, as I understand it. She should be a good back in this game for a long time.
There's a lot of players on Pittsburgh, but you mentioned this is their first year. They're playing good football. They're getting beat. Don't look at the score right now, but they have a good nucleus going into next season.
A 2nd and 5, ball at the Los Angeles 16. Spencer taking a lot of time looking over that defense. Now a shovel pass to Cruz. That play just looked ugly from the beginning. Took a lot of time to set up, and Cruz will gain a yard.
You learn from what you called earlier in the game. That play hasn't worked all night long, and they continue to call it. I mean, offensive coordinators, you learn what's good, what works. You ask the quarterback what they like, but you don't keep calling plays that don't work.
3rd and 4, ball at the Los Angeles 15. Spencer, who had a really tough start, has come on here as the season has progressed. She has missed several receivers here tonight.
I like her as a quarterback and her leader. She's excited to bring this team back next year, and I'm looking forward to watching her.
A 3rd and 4 here. Spencer rolling right, buying time. Has a Fezekai. A good-looking completion.
You use your helmet. I'm still standing though. And it's a first down, ho. And it's a first down, ho. I'm still standing. What's up? Give me more. Feed me.
You gotta love the energy on a Fezekai. She is just pure energy, and she feeds off the opponent.
She would fit in perfectly with this Los Angeles team. They cannot talk trash to her. She will get right back in their face like that.
If there's been a silver lining to this 1-2 season for Pittsburgh, it has got to be the play of number 15, Jolia Fezekai, who's really emerged as the predominant receiver in the LFL.
She has all LFL, all fantasy potential. She could start on almost any team. Just fun to watch.
Look at Sherry Owaga just eating now. Astrid Cruz on that carry. That'll be a loss as we near the 2-minute mark of the fourth quarter.
Again, a lot of teams would die. This is the end of the season for Pittsburgh. 2 minutes left in the game. They'd walk away, but no, they're trying to get in the end zone.
That will take us to the 2-minute warning. Los Angeles winning this one comfortably, 34-6. The LFL football night, and next week we head up to the Pacific Northwest as Stevie Schnorr and the Seattle Mist host Michelle Marshall and the Austin Acoustic.
Now you're gonna smell like beer.
So I take a shower.
Just an outstanding game by Board. So 3 touchdowns and again, 5.8 average on 14 carries. Outstanding.
That's a Fezekai dropping a sure touchdown in the end zone. Give credit to Lily Cranston in coverage.
You rarely see that, but that's 2 drops, 1 on offense and 1 on defense for Fezekai.
Yeah, if you're really going to turn the corner and become one of the elites in the game, you've got to come up with those.
Absolutely. Like in the NFL, I remember our wide receivers coach said you can't slip. You can't drop the ball. If you're going to play receiver, you have to catch the ball.
Morgan Spencer is the type of streaky quarterback. She's hot or cold. You got to do her the favor of coming up with those footballs in the end zone.
That's a great point. I mean, she's not always going to be right on the money. She'll be around you. You have to make the catch.
A 3rd and goal for Pittsburgh. Lobbing it up to Jessica Johnson. Nearly intercepted by Danielle Harvey.
Danielle Harvey could have gone coast to coast. It looks like she tried to catch it with her feet or something because her hands were definitely not there.
You're absolutely killing defenders tonight, huh?
That's why they're defenders. They can't catch.
Danielle Harvey, one of the surest tacklers in the game, but yeah, doesn't have the hands.
Every time a receiver drops a couple balls, next thing you know, they're playing safe. Write that down.
I lived it.
You're thinking, damn, that was me.
I lived it in high school. 4th and goal. That's the 2nd time we've referenced my high school game. This game is clearly a blowout. A 4th and goal ball at the 6-yard line. Throwing across her body and nearly connecting. That was intended for Astrid Cruz, and that'll do it as Los Angeles takes over on downs.
A good throw by Morgan Spencer, rolling to her right, came across her body, found Cruz, but she just dropped it. That should have been some points there also.
Los Angeles here, all they have to do is take a knee. Pittsburgh does have a timeout remaining, but I'm sure they just want to get out of here at this point. Trailing this game 34-6.
Hey, Coach Joe DeBerry has to be happy with his season. Record-wise, not so good, but bringing a team together, putting some talent out there. She had to change some coaches up. They're going to be okay next year.
On the other side, Ashley Salerno in this offense looking like they're ready for the playoffs. They do have one more matchup left, August 5th versus Atlanta. This is Salerno working down the field, has a receiver. And that was one of those instances where the ball is short. The offensive player comes back and the defensive player is on the hook for it.
That's why you have to watch the ball, because that ball was underthrown, which means that the receiver came back, the DB had to run through the receiver, and it's obviously that's pass interference, but you have to turn your head and go after the ball. That could have been an interception.
Kenise Brown having a tough debut here. This is interesting. You talked about Los Angeles' injuries coming into this game. This is clearly out of hand at this point, and you're still taking shots down the field. Now, what if a Cynthia Schmidt running that go pattern turns an ankle?
You're right. That's the whole point. You made the playoffs. You want to stay healthy. That's one thing Coach Tui Suanoa told me before the game. He's beat up right now. 3 of his main starters are out. Branson out when she's playing with a broken wrist. You want to stay healthy going into the playoffs.
A 1st and 10 after that Kenise Brown pass interference. Salerno checking down to Hansen, and Hansen dropping it. That was a bit low, setting up a 2nd and 10.
The LA passing attack, although it is lethal, it can kill you. It's just not clicking tonight. I don't even think Salerno has over 40 yards passing.
That is unusual. We've come to know from number 8 a lot of passing yards and a lot of touchdowns, but Los Angeles has mainly done it on the ground tonight. And speaking of that, handoff to Carmen Bourseau, finding a seam up the middle. The F-150 breaking off for 16 yards.
That Pittsburgh defense is going to have nightmares about Bourseau, the F-150 coming right at them all night long.
The clock continues to run. Los Angeles just setting up in a hurry-up offense, which is interesting. A quick bubble screen, that to Cynthia Schmidt. A gain of 3 yards.
I think right now, offensive coordinator Jeff Loud just trying to get some connections going, mesh a little bit on this passing offense because it hasn't been there all night.
Now a 2nd and 7 as the clock continues to run. Inside handoff to Sherry Awaga. And scary Sherry Awaga gaining 4 yards. That'll set up a 3rd and 3.
Scary Sherry Awaga, one of my all-time favorites with LA. Wow, how about that collision? Jessica Johnson hitting Awaga. It's like 2 F-150s hitting each other. What a hit.
On 3rd and 3, it looks like this LA offense not willing to take a knee. Really trying to fine-tune this offense for the August 5th matchup versus Atlanta. And of course, the all-important conference championship on August 20th versus Seattle. This is Salerno, a lot of traffic in the pocket. It appeared that Salerno just ran into Takarangi.
I know this game's over, but they just don't look sharp on offense with the exception of Bourseau.
Now a 4th and 3, and looks like Salerno's wanting to kill the clock. That is poor awareness by Ashley Salerno. I think she just realized that she killed the clock on 4th and 3. An uncharacteristic mistake by number 8.
Pittsburgh takes over on downs, 1st and 10.
That's what happens when you guys aren't paying attention to.
I need some fucking help. Where are my coaches?
Ashley Salerno not happy with her coaching staff, but that's a situation where you've got to be aware that that is 4th down.
100%. As the quarterback, it's up to Salerno. Know the down and distance, what time's on the clock, just a bad call. But that's like the night. They're winning 34-6, but you can the frustration between her and the players and the coaches. It should not be like this.
That's a good sign right there. Ashley Salerno obviously frustrated. You want a competitor, disregard the score, disregard the fact that she's had a decent night throwing the ball. That is what she'll remember from this game, that mental mistake. And Morgan Spencer stepping up in the pocket and completing to Astrid Cruz.
That's a great point about Salerno. She is such a competitor, probably the top competitor I've seen since my years in the LFL. And she, even though she won tonight, she is not happy right now. She knows the passing game was not connecting. Yeah, they beat Pittsburgh, but she is such a competitor, she wants more.
She will have an opportunity to get more. I don't want to project too far ahead, but I think everybody's talking about the conference championship versus Seattle. Ashley Salerno versus KK Matheny.
That will be a classic.
A 1st and 10 after that Astrid Cruz completion. This is Spencer stepping up in the pocket, looking sharp. Although she did overthrow a Fezekai, but I like the confidence and her moving around in the pocket. It has improved so much from the beginning of the season.
Even though that was an incompletion, you're right, she stepped up in the pocket, threw it on time, a little bit overthrown, but when she takes her time in the pocket, she's a solid quarterback.
Morgan Spencer and this offense have time to take a couple more shots into the end zone. And you got to factor they're going to look to a Fezekai, their number 1 option on the outside. LA bringing a 2-person rush. Spencer rolling right, looking to a Fezekai. That was out of the back of the end zone. Make that Jessica Johnson. That's the number 2 receiver on the roster.
They're going down swinging the football. You got to love that. They're getting beat, but they know this is their last game of the season. They want some more points before they head back to Pittsburgh.
If you're part of this Pittsburgh Rebellion team, you're feeling good about several things here. The emergence of Astrid Cruz in place of Sonia Osselborn. If Osselborn returns healthy and in shape, what a weapon that'll be. Obviously, a Fezekai, Jessica Johnson, Tracy Wilmer, Remy Olenzak, they are some pieces here.
and you mix that in with some veterans like Kim Jack, and they could be a rock-solid football team.
This is the final play of the season for Pittsburgh. That'll fall incomplete, intended for Tracy Wilmer. And this game is over, folks.
LA, they do a lot of walking with their lips, but they back it up. Another victory. You mentioned it. They got 2 tough games. They got Atlanta, and then everybody wants to see them play Seattle. This is fun football.
I think the key for the silver and black is get healthy and get this passing game on the right page.
That's right. Jeff Loud, the offensive coordinator, has to get a passing game to go with that running game, and they can be big trouble in the playoffs.
Pittsburgh now gets to go home and start their offseason, a franchise that is surely going to come back in 2018 and what could be a very competitive Eastern Conference. That'll do it for us here in Los Angeles, where the hometown silver and black won it in impressive fashion, 34-6. For my partner, Bobby Hugo, our producer, Brian Petrus, this is Mitch Mortaza. We will see you next week on LFL Football Night.